What's up? What's up, everybody? This is your guy, Inspirational Rob, and welcome to ROBTALK. Well, we have a great discussion on tap today, but before we get to the discussion, we want to remind you, as always, to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with someone also and let them know that ROBTALK is on. It's available on YouTube, and this is a podcast that we're trying to grow. We're trying to grow numerically, and we're going to grow together. I'm going to learn something from you. You're going to learn something from me. We're going to learn together, and we're just going to inspire one another. We're going to motivate one another to get to the next level in life. Okay? So again, like, comment, and subscribe. So I want to talk about something that's dear to my heart today, because I think in order for us to be successful in life, we have to address this particular subject matter. But have you ever in life, just gave up on something when you knew you probably should not have? And then that thing just bothered you for a long time. Have you ever done that? I've done that before. Some things that I knew that I should have kept going. Where would you be today in that particular venture if you had not given up? Where would you be today if you just had not said, I'm done with this? Where would you be today if you'd have just stuck it out just one more day, 2 more days, 3 more days, 4 more days, 1 more week, 1 more month, just one more year, just put it 1 more good year's work in? Where would you be today in that venture or that endeavor? Where would you be? I often think about that with me in my life and the decisions that I made, and when I gave up on something. And I often think about that. I often think about that. Life is more than a race. It's a marathon. I mean, it's more than just a race. It's a marathon, and in a marathon can be very grueling. I don't know about you, but I I mean. I've never ran a marathon. I've never ran a marathon of any type. But the videos that I've watched and some of the documentaries that I've watched, some of the sporting events that I've watched, and I did play sports and we did a lot of running, but I've never ran a marathon. I'm going to tell you right now, it does not seem like a lot of fun. The same in life. Life is not always fun. And in order to win, in order to get the rewards in life, then you got to go through some stuff. You got to deal with some stuff. Everybody wants the rewards, but nobody wants to deal with pain. Nobody wants to deal with the crap that comes along with being in this life and being in this race or being in this marathon. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they start things and they start something, that they I think many times is they come out the gates just at 100 miles an hour. Whoa. Slow down, pace yourself. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. Okay? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You cannot come out the gates at 100 miles an hour when you got 26 miles to go. You're gonna peter out. You're gonna burn out. Okay? How do I know? Because I've been in this world a little bit of time, a little while now, and I've done that, and I've seen it in others. And I just want to help us to understand that you can't just come out the gates or out of the blocks, so to speak, full tilt at 100 miles an hour when you got 26 miles to go. This is a marathon. And you have to pace yourself sometimes. You have to slow down sometimes. in life. Sometimes you have to just, sometimes in life, you have to stop and take a break. Gather yourself. Whew. Refuel, retool, refresh, rehydrate, and then start back up again and go again and keep moving. Life throws a roadblock. Whew. Get a little bit tired. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Get your energy back and keep moving. This is a marathon. You pace yourself. Pace yourself. I've seen many people start off. I mean, they come out to shoot. Oh, I mean, and before they get a mile down the road, they quit. They give up because they say, no, there's no way. I got 25 more miles to go. There ain't no way I'm gonna make it. There ain't no way I'm gonna make it because I'm already spent. I'm already tired. This is done. I'm through. Well, what about your vision, the thing that you want, that you said you were gonna do this, you had these plans, and you're gonna give up that easily? You're gonna give up that quick, that quick? Yeah, because I'm tired. So what I'm trying to say is take your time, pace yourself. It's a marathon. It's not just a race, it's a marathon, and it's not a sprint. When I see people who have been in a relationship a long time, some people, say they've been married for 40, 50 years, and I go, what? Immediately, I start thinking about the stuff that they probably endured. I don't have to know anything about you, but if you tell me you've been together for 40, 50 years, and I'm going to automatically know there's some things that you had to deal with because life, we all go through the same things for the most part in life. Okay? For the most part, our challenges are typically the same. Mine might not be exactly like yours. Yours might not be exactly like mine, but somebody would have experienced what you've experienced, and we all have experienced, similar things for the most part in life. Okay, so I know that if you've endured for 40 years or 50 years in a marriage or in a relationship, I know that you've overcome this, you overcome that, you've overcome yes, because this is life. And so I immediately go, that's a strong person. That's a strong woman. That's a strong man. They endured. Woo, they must have been, man, oh man. And it's amazing to see, and I love to see it. And when I see it, I go, wow, it's amazing to me. I'm overwhelmed with like I'm just overwhelmed with thinking about the possibility that it seems impossible almost many times. When you look at people who've been married long, it almost seems impossible because you know the challenges. If you've been alive any length of time, you know the challenges in life that you have with yourself, let alone with someone else. And that's why I like spending time talking to people who've gone through some things because I want to know, man, how did you get through it? And you find out they say we had to get counseling. We've had to do this. We have to stop and we had to think about this and we had to maybe separate it for a little bit of time and then we came back together and but through it all, we're here and we're still standing. I'm just amazed by it. Thinking about the sacrifices that they had to make. The sacrifices that they had to make in order for this relationship to last. listen, what about that career? When I see a person that have had a long, successful career, I immediately think and I wonder, what did they have to endure? And I start thinking about, man, how many times they had to close their mouth, shut their mouth, and not say anything. How many times did they have to work overtime? How many times did they have to just capitulate, so to speak, or just kind of just give in and say, okay, it's not about me. I'm going to do this for the team. And I think about it, and you know what I mean? They may have gone home just upset and got home and just like, I'm done. I'm not going back to that place again. And then they show up the next day, and they show up the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And then they have an illustrious career, a great career, and a long span in that particular career. And I can't help but to wonder when I see a person like that, go, what did they have to deal with to get to that point? And I'm amazed. And I want to honor them, and I want to praise them, quite frankly. Go, wow. There's a lot to be said about somebody who have endured this marathon called life. There is nothing more rewarding than finishing a task, than completing a task. You want to get a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment? Fulfill a task, either one that was given to you or one that you've started. Complete it, and it'll be so fulfilling. It will be so rewarding. There's nothing rewarding about quitting a task. There's no rewards given to people who don't complete a task or don't finish the race. You got to finish. I didn't say that you can't get tired. I'm not saying that you can't want to give up. I'm not saying that you can't feel like quitting. I'm not saying that you can't. What I am saying is that at the end of the day, you can't quit. You can't throw in the towel. You can't give up. You got to finish what you started. If you want the rewards, if you want the trophy, if you want the medal. And in life, many times the medal is just completing it. It's the feeling that you get. It might not be the money. It might not be the reward. It might not be a trophy. It might not be a medal. It might just be, I completed this. I finished this. Oh, the feeling is so good. You know what? There's a guy that I hired to do some work for me. Somebody told me about him and said he does good work, and I found out that he actually does pretty good work. But the problem with this particular person is that he didn't finish much of anything. I gave him 2, 3 different jobs, and he never really completed one of them. Did good work. Sometimes get right to the very end and didn't finish. And you go, what in the world? Or he would finish later on, way after the time he should have completed it. And I told him, I said, listen here, you are so gifted. You have so much talent. I said, you could write your own ticket in this business, carpentry, remodeling. I said, you know what your problem is? You don't finish. I said, you don't finish anything. I said, how can you want to know why you're not making the kind of money that you could be making? You want to know why you're not the success that you wish you were? Because you don't finish. I found that I'm figuring it out right now. Just after 2 or 3 tasks that I asked you to complete, you haven't completed it. Or you didn't complete it in a timely fashion. You got to finish the job, complete the task if you want the reward. And the thing about it, then he finally finished something, and I gave him, because I'm big into designing and stuff like that. A lot of things in my home and things that I have people do. I'll actually do the designing, and then I'll have them make it and this sort of thing. I'm into that. And then finally, one project I gave him, because I love the person. I'm really trying to help him. I could have just kicked him to the curb a long time ago and just go, no. But I was trying to train him and show him and teach him. So I gave him multiple jobs. I didn't give up on him so fast. And so I said, he finally finished a particular task as I showed him what to do and how to do it. And I says, you know what? You need to learn to multitask a little bit. Do this, and then while you're doing that, do this. And I started showing him how to. I said, that's how you become a finisher. Then he finished the job. It was amazing. The job was amazing. And I was proud of him. But more importantly, he was proud of himself. And then he told me, he says, you know what? You were so right about that. This feels good. I'm going to get better. You're training me and showing me how to multitask and how to be on time and how to finish. He said, finish is the thing. Finishing is where it's at, people. Finishing is where it's at. There's 2 types of people in this world. There's starters, and then there's finishers. Obviously, if you finish, you got to start. So if you're a finisher, you're already going to be a starter. But then there's starters who never finish. It's good to be a starter, but it's very important to be a finisher. No, there's something to be said about starting something, because at least you got a chance if you start. So don't, you want to start. The emphasis is finishing. Once you start, finish. Finish. There's 2 types of people, those who start and those who finish. What type of person do you want to be called? Who do you want to be? What do you want them to call you? A starter or a finisher? I'd rather be called a finisher. I want to finish things. So I want to leave you with this. I want you to understand that life is more than a race. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Take your time. Pace yourself. Grow as you go along. But don't quit. It's okay to fall. It's okay to have doubt. It's okay to want to give up. It's okay to say, I'm done. But at the end of the day, get up, square your shoulders, and say, I can't quit. I started it. Now I'm going to finish it. Finish, finish, finish. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there. There's some things that I wish I would have finished and I didn't, and it haunted me for a long time. There's things that haunted me for a long time, things that I started and didn't finish, and it haunted me. I mean, some of the things were not even necessarily that life-changing or life-altering or catastrophic, but it did something to me. My mother didn't raise me to be a quitter. She raised me to be a finisher. And the same with you. You're a finisher. So let's just start finishing things. Well, this is Inspirational Rob. I hope that you can help. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with somebody. We all need to be motivated. We all need to be inspired. I don't care how successful or how successful you are, or maybe you're not so successful. Everyone needs motivation from time to time. We all get to a place where we kind of get just a little bit laid back and we get comfortable. Sometimes we need to be needled a little bit. Me, Johnny, Jeff, Jill, Karen, Donna, we all need to be motivated from time to time. So share this with somebody. Look, we'll do this again next week. This is Inspirational Rob. You've been listening to Rob Talk. You know what to do.